Good evening, good morning, good afternoon. I don't know, viewers, when you are going to watch this video, but great greetings from my side. And today I have on my platform Haritosh Srivastav, who has recently published a book known as Small Town, Bigger Dreams. And if you want to know more about Haritosh, let me tell you this that he is an IT project manager and he has a 14 years of industry experience. He's from a small town, Jaunpur, in the state of Uttar Pradesh. You all must be knowing about it. And he's working with Tata Consultancy Services. And right now, he's in the UK and serving as a top pharma customer at Basingstoke. He loves to mentor, he loves to coach young professionals and students, and he's helping many people to reach their goals, their endeavors. And many times, whenever I too stuck, I get mentorship, I get some ideas, I get some suggestions from Haritosh. And he's a very benevolent, very humble person. He's always ready to help me with everything, and this is his benevolence. And I hope many of you must have seen me with him. When he was interviewing me, and we know a lot about each other. We are Toastmasters, and Haritosh is DTM, that is, he is a distinguished Toastmasters, and he has also won many awards in the field of speaking. In the world, he loves to volunteer, and he has opened many online clubs, Hindi as well as English clubs in Toastmasters. This is too much. He has displayed a lot of leadership qualities, speaking qualities, and now he has authored his book. He is working for his company. He's doing a lot, and if you'll see, watch his videos every day, he's calling one or the other person on his YouTube channel, taking interviews, learning a lot. So Haritosh, how's your journey? Like, you are from a small town, and how your journey from a small town, Jaunpur, to UK? I know it cannot be easy, so how was it and what was your experience?
Thank you so much, Sweta. First of all, thank you so much for inviting me in your platform. I'm really humbled and thank you so much for the privilege. Talking about your question, I think I still feel like it's a dream, big dream I'm living. I was born and brought up in Jaunpur next to Varanasi, very small town, small people, and I was studying in a Hindi medium, but I think there were a few things which helped me, and that's all the book is all about. And when I got a time to reflect last year when there was all the lockdown and everything, I thought what has been some of the key differentiator for me, things that has helped me and sure will help people also. So I try to compile all of these, and that's how this small town bigger dream came into picture. So it's basically a collection of 21 lessons, principles, mistakes that I've done over the years, and that has helped me in this journey of being in. Now this is my third international trip, being to so many different cities, and doing so many things in life, with the privilege and honor that I have.
Haritosh, I want to ask you one question. What was your dream when you were a child?
Wow, that's a good question. I won't say I had one dream. I had so many dreams. My book starts with where I tell my younger sister that you see those white smoke on the sky. Those are the smoke that comes out of airplane. So definitely, I wanted to be somebody like pilot or something. Then I was really fascinated by, and which I'm currently am, is buying teaching profession. When I was a kid, I was so fascinated when you used to give your copies and teacher will do all the tick tick or wrong read. I was like, wow, such an amazing job. How when will I get to do this? I was so fascinated by that. But no, over the years, that respect for the teaching professionals. I know you do a lot of teaching, and there are so many people who help people and overall education field. So that was another fascination, and it was also my backup plan if I don't get placed after my engineering. I was going to be a lecturer in engineering college somewhere, but thankfully I didn't spoil people's career, so I became a IT professional. So that's how it has been.
Good, very good. So, this dream, like of writing a book, is it a one day stroke or it was in your mind like since many days? Yes, I want to write a book, and means how you get inspired for writing a book.
That's a good question, and there are two parts to it. number one is, I remember back in somewhere 2003 4, I went to one of my relatives place, and that was the first time I saw there was a book placed, and she said, no, this book is written by my father. That was like very close thing that time, no, somebody who's that close and being author, that was like how amazing it would be when I would be able to author in books. So that seed was there back of the mind, but then it was like uh, under there. But when the COVID hit down, and no, lot of us started complaining, creeping, and that was the time I went into self reflection. That no, I was in UK. As a matter of fact, I reached UK on 23rd of Feb, and within couple of weeks there was lockdown almost over the world. So you can't go out, you can't do anything. So there was a lot of time to think about, and I wanted to make something productive out of it. So I went to a lot of Toastmaster club, but there was something that came to my mind. What is one thing that I want to do, which once this is all over, once we are out of this, I would say, no, I use my time something fruitful, something productive, and something which probably will make a legacy. And that's how the idea came back to know how about creating a book and sharing my journey with people.
Yes. So the book is all about your journey. Can you tell something more about your book, like Small Town, Bigger Dreams? Means people want to know, like, what is your experience and
Sure.
what the basic lessons that your book is will
Mm-hmm.
imparting to the readers.
Sure, definitely. So, as I said, in all my 21 chapters, there are two things. One is called TSL, which I says theories, stories, and lessons, and one is action item. And I'm going to give you a couple of examples of that. My very first lesson is about being mindful of your association. So it was after intermediate, like many of the people who do from mathematics, PCM, and all. We used to go out to bigger cities and prepare for IIT exam. And I also went from Jaunpur to Varanasi. I was not aware of this. My father set me up with one of his friend's son. I was pretty, I would say I was above average. I was pretty good at studies and I had very good potential, I know. But that guy, he was not bad or anything, but he was not interested in studies. Since I was living with him over the time, I also became like that. I think I got into a decent private college, but had it been somebody else who was as studious or as potential as like me, I would have probably got into much better college. Maybe a regional engineering college, maybe a government college, maybe IT. You never know. So that's one example that I put in the book, that how it is very important to be mindful of your association. Then afterwards, when I got to know I had this bad experience, I became careful of who my top. Jim Rohn, the motivational speaker, says you are the average of top 5 people you spend most time with. So I became unconsciously very careful of who my top 5 are, who I am sitting with more, talking with more understanding. So if you are at the top 5, your top 5 are the growth mindset people, the people who are doing great things in life. You automatically get an inner drive to do more. So that's one of the lesson. Other lesson I would say, there's another lesson which is very important in nowadays is be mindful of who you give advice to. So lot of us get into a mode of giving advice to anyone and everyone, and I again had a bad experience of that, and that's what I share in the book. So I had two friends, after intermediate, both of them approached me that no, they wanted to do something out of their career, and they didn't have the money or capacity and time to go for engineering or something. They wanted a short course, 6 to 8 months, and afterwards they will start earning. Both of them approached me, and I, with the right intent and mindset, looked into. And what I found was there was a course called Airlines Ticketing Course from IATA, International Air Travel Association, something like that. And I suggested both of them to do the same course. Both of them went from Jaunpur to Meerut. Both of them did the course, but the first person came back in few months, and he started blaming me that no, you probably didn't give the right advice. And to the extent that once I visited his home, his father accused me that no, because of you, my no, so much money was wasted, and my son was not able to do something. If he had been in a shop, he would have earned more. Uh, while the second person, he did the same course and same schedule, same thing, but he continued working on it. He went on to, he's been in industry for close to now 17 years. And the last organization, he was vice president of the organization. And now he opened his own venture in 2019. Now, I give the same advice to both of these. One person took it in the right spirit and kept working and working hard and achieving results. Other person just got, no, thought of me as a person to put the blame and go on. So that's what I mentioned in the book, that you should be really, really mindful of who you are giving advice to. If that person is having real intent, if you are the right person to advise, number one, and if you are having the right intent, if the person that you are giving advice to is able to do the right steps, so there is a kind of framework given over there. So those are like couple of lessons from this book.
So the right, but the person, that person should also have that right intent to follow
Exactly.
what you are advising. Yeah, this is very good. These two things. Yes, we all believe that we are sum total of what at least five peoples we surround ourselves with, and
Absolutely.
it's a good thing I learned from you today that yes, we should, because I also keep on advising, maybe from my
Yeah.
experiences, or people come to me. Yes, I haven't faced till now, but yes, I may or may not. That time will tell.
Yeah.
This is something very great lesson to learn, that you should, if you are doing your work with intention, you should also have to find that yes, whether that person is taking with the same intention or not.
Exactly.
You
Exactly.
we get some. And when I did a life coaching course, no, in that also at the last, that coach also suggested us, you cannot coach everyone. There is a,
Yeah.
yes, so you should be mindful of that person to whom you are actually counseling. Otherwise, your
Hmm.
will be spoiled. Whatever the intentions or whatever the work you are doing, you never know how the
You
things.
never know.
So you should have to choose
Absolutely.
very carefully. So we have to be very.
Absolutely, absolutely. And one more thing I said, that no, probably if you are, and you need to be serious when it is of more gravity. If you're giving a business advice, then always put the disclaimer that no, this is my personal opinion and not a legal thing. It sounds funny, but it can actually save you from all the legal troubles, anything like that in future. So very important to be careful of who you give advice to.
Yes, yes, very nice, beautiful, beautiful. So, Haritosh, my next question will be means, what is the biggest lesson that you have learned in your life, the hardest, means in the hardest way, means how life taught you, giving its hardest blow, if you have ever faced.
And I think this is a great question, and I won't say I have never failed. I think if somebody says they've never failed, they haven't tried anything. That's what Albert Einstein also said. There were so many setbacks. If you are from a small town, you first of all you go to a bigger city, you get that imposter syndrome that maybe I'm not good enough, maybe I can't do that. I tried getting into good engineering college. I got into a decent private one, but my aspiration was to get into a bigger college, so I didn't get into there. Then once I started working, I wanted to get into do an MBA from a premier management school. I never got admission into any of those, so second blow. And then there were so many other small instances. I remember when I was a kid, I was studying from a Hindi medium, and there was a few relatives only, and I went to their place. I was playing with them, and suddenly one of the aunts says no to his kid, please go away from here. These Hindi medium guys are useless, and that stuck with me. Like, just because I'm studying in Hindi medium doesn't make me useless, and I wanted to make that point. After so many years, that lady got to my mother and say appreciated me a lot and all, but that instance was like still in my mind, that no, I was insulted just because I was from a Hindi medium. So there's so many factors, but if you take it in the right spirit, it can help you get greater results.
Yes, definitely. Definitely. Sometimes we have to face something, and those things at least, bring ourselves up and bring the potentials or the magic
Absolutely.
from us inside. We face.
True. True.
Yeah, and this is something very beautiful you have told. Yes, we all face one or the other thing. Yes, I too belong to a very small town called as Moga. Many must
Mm-hmm.
be knowing about it, but still, yeah, I too have faced in the big cities, or from
Yeah.
my cousins, in fact, those who are staying in big cities like Calcutta or Delhi. And I too remember when they used to come, or either I used to visit them. Yes, we have to like, yeah, they are something, as we have this idea, they are something great people. But
Yeah, yeah.
now over a period of time, yeah, this is very good you have told this. And this is somewhere, the title of your book is also suggesting, small,
Exactly, exactly.
yes, bigger dreams.
Small town, bigger dreams. Yeah.
Very nice. So this is beautiful. In fact, this thing actually, means small town people can have bigger dreams. When this thing stuck to me, I remember in 2007 when India won this 2020 World
Yeah.
Cup.
World Cup. Yeah.
Yeah, and many of the players there, that means they were from small towns, and they have, they showed their, what I,
Great and courage. Yeah.
and Dhoni. And after that, I started boosting myself. Yes, we can do. It's not like that. Yeah, I'm living in a big city, Chennai, Kolkata, Mumbai. So this is great thing I have learned from you today, and thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank
Okay,
you.
so one more thing I really want to ask you, Haritosh. Like you keep juggling, no, Toastmasters, mentors, and your job. And even I means I know you since almost 1 year. I see you
Yeah.
sometimes here in India, sometimes in UK, and sometimes moving here, vlogs and all. I watch a lot of your things. Means how you manage, means how you are able to wear so many hats.
I think first thing was the word time management. I think I probably do not believe in the word time management. There are two words that I probably believe. That one is called priority management, and second is called attention management. If you're able to prioritize your task, and if you're able to manage your attention, I still feel that I can do a lot more than I do. But if you plan well in advance, you can do that. So I follow a few practices that helps me. Number one is I am an early riser. I try to wake up by 5 a.m. On most of the days, at least 5 days a week. And that gives me a lot of time in terms of doing my creative work. I like to wake up and do a little bit of journal, study a book for 30 minutes, and then think about what I want to do out of this whole day. I I do prepare a daily checklist or to dos. Most of the time, it doesn't get completed, but I do prepare, so that helps me plan. One of the things that has been really game changer for me is apart from having daily to dos, having a weekly plan, which is I do mostly on Sunday night or Monday morning. You get a paper and pen and you write down what are the things that you want to do, whether it's your personal thing, whether it's your creative thing, whether it's your no, official work, whatever you want to achieve out of that. And as and when you get time, you refer to that and keep checking those boxes. So when you do that, it gives you time. So if your daily to dos are done, you can move on to the other things in the weekly plan. And no, there are a lot of leaders who do monthly, quarterly, and annual plan as well. I'm not yet to that level, but I've been following weekly planning for a year now, and it has been a game changer. It helps me plan when is my next YouTube video coming, and how I'm going to do the podcast one, how I'm going to get the time for writing. Then in terms of the attention management, we have a few tips for improving the productivity. One of them is very famous, Pomodoro technique. So Pomodoro technique says that uh, if you have something to work on, remove away all your distraction, and then work on that with the full rigor and vigor for 20-25 minutes. Then take a break for 5 minutes, and then again do that 25 minutes. So that no, even if you have to check the phone, you get it away and work 25 minutes, then check the phone for 2 3 5 minutes, then again do the work, do it for 3 4 cycle, and then take a longer break. So that way your mind will not get exhausted, and you'll be able to do things more productivity. Last advice is the multitasking thing. We all feel that multitasking help us, but it has been scientifically proven that multitasking actually reduces your productivity. So if you are into too many things, we all do that. There's nothing wrong in that. But at times, no, when you are doing something important and you distract to some other things, it takes about 15 to 25 minutes to come back to the same state of flow, to get into that productive state. So as much as possible, it's not possible always, but as much as possible, work one thing at a time and then move away from it. So, those are few tips that helps me in my day-to-day
Yeah,
things.
this is very good. You know, multitasking. We say that, yeah, I too do a lot of things. I know.
Yeah,
And yeah, but
we all
I
do.
believe that yes, you can do a lot of work, but whenever you are doing whatever work you are doing, just be present there, be focused
Yeah,
there, and forget about everything. You know,
exactly.
you're going to give your total time into the that particular task, definitely you are going to do a lot of things, and that is how I too do. I try my best to do. It's not like
I know you do a lot of things as well. I know you do book authoring, you do a lot of work in Toastmaster. I know you take classes, coaching, and then you are a full-time mother, which in itself is a great job. uh, so I know I have a deep respect for you, and it was amazing to have you in my show, and I learned so much from you in that show. I still sometimes visit and I still get some comments on that video. But yeah, it's all about mutual learning from each other and growing together.
yes, that is why Haritosh, your book also says, no, surround yourself with the people having the same mindset, or surround yourself
Exactly.
with the learners, with the enthusiasts, you know, those who are really doing, and that
Mm-hmm.
pushes you also to do something. And that is why we are
Absolutely.
all here. Yes, we do a lot of things.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Haritosh. One more thing, and uh, what's the last message that you want to give to the viewers like today? Yes.
Exactly. To all the people who's gonna watch this or listen this, one last message I am gonna say is never stop imagining. If a guy from a Jaunpur who was studying from a Hindi medium would have not imagined, probably he would have not been in three different countries, traveling 50,000 plus air miles, shifting 10 times, and now working in the top IT company in the world. If a small town guy like me can do this, you can definitely do it. You just have to keep imagining and keep growing, and you'll definitely get there.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Haritosh. You know, your last message made me to ask you one more question, and that is
Sure.
seeing your feelings. I really felt like asking is how you felt when your book got released.
Oh, that was like amazing experience. It's like getting a baby out there. Yeah, I mean, I was kind of getting impatient because this process was going uh, too long. I was trying to get the book published in Kindle. There was a lot of to and fro in terms of editing and all, and I got to a point of being impatient that no, I have to get this out. My original plan was to get it published on May 1st, but then I had some family tragedy and all those travel and all. So I was like, I have to publish. And the day it got published and I started getting a few reviews, it felt like no, all this was worth it. So guys, if you have any dreams, keep working on it. You'll get it.
Yes, definitely. If you have dreams, yes, go ahead. Everyone can achieve it. We all have the potential to achieve whatever we can imagine, as Haritosh told, and whatever we can even think of. We all have that power. So go ahead, keep watching, keep walking, keep doing whatever you want to do. Don't stop your passions. Thank you so much, Haritosh,
Absolutely.
for being here. It was lovely conversing with you. And yes, we have learned a lot from you today.
Thank you so much, Sweta. As always, it was great, connecting with you again, and I'm really looking forward to have more such meetings and interviews. Maybe I'll invite you for my book talk sometime, and we'll have some more chat.
Yeah, yeah, sure, definitely. I would love to know. Thank you so much once again, Haritosh.
Thank you. Take care.